I was reselling shoes and clothing. Started off when I was about 16, and then when I got to about 21, I was doing really well, to be fair, for about 3 years. And then it just kind of went downhill a little bit, like things changed and that. So I was looking for like a new career. I always knew I wanted to get into property. I was looking at different strategies like HMOs, Airbnbs, all that kind of stuff.
Why not continue with what you were doing before? Why the rent to rent specifically?
I was seeing the numbers people was making, and to be fair, I've got some people around me that was already into it. I was like, if they can do it, I can do it, and I can do it better. I think about the first day I was getting bookings. So
first day.
it just popped off, and then that just motivated me. I just went at it. Like,
How long do you reckon it took you to get your first deal?
it took me about a month to get my first deal.
Collectively, how much would you say those 4 deals are generating you per month?
Last month, actually, I worked out 5.6k.
And that's clean profit
Clean profit, yeah.
after all expenses.
After all expensive.
Keep it real. Like, did you actually think the progress would have been this fast prior to you joining, or when you joined?
No, not at all. They done a 3-month booking, and they paid about 9.5 grand up front, and they literally messaged me last week saying they need to extend it for another 2 months. That's going to be straight up as well.
Guys, welcome to another podcast episode. For this session right here, I've got a very, very special guest in the building. It's actually one of my special mentees / students that's doing numbers with his property / rent to rent business. So right now, we just wanted to get him on here, talk to us about his journey, where he's at right now, and some of the things he's currently doing. But I won't say too much. I'll let the man speak for himself. Lewis, how's it going, bro?
Yeah, all good, man. Yourself?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Thank you for taking the time to come through, man.
Nah, thank you, man.
Now look, we're going to go through a lot, yeah? Whole lot. But, you know, for those that may not have an idea about yourself, you know, give us a little bit of an introduction into yourself.
My name's Lewis. I'm 25. I'm from Kent. I've always had an entrepreneurial mindset growing up. But outside of work, I'm into the gym and keep obviously staying active and that. I've been on the training program for about 6 months now. Got 4 deals, soon to be 5. And yeah, man, that's about it.
Nice, nice. All right, cool. No worries. So look, we're gonna literally cover the whole process in terms of like the journey you went through, you know, where you're currently at right now. But in terms of talk to us a little bit about the start of your journey, like prior to you even getting started off with this.
All right, so I was reselling shoes and clothing. Started off when I was about 16, and then when I got to about 21, started to pick up a bit. So then I made a limited company. I was doing really well, to be fair, for about 3 years. And then it just kind of went downhill a little bit, like things changed and that. So I was looking for like a new career. And I always knew I wanted to get into property, like pretty much everyone does long term, but they always think you have to put such a lot of money down. I was looking at different strategies like HMOs, Airbnbs, all that kind of stuff. And then I come across you actually on YouTube and TikTok.
Yeah.
I think we just jumped on a call, sold me the dream.
Yeah.
And it went from there really, yeah.
Yeah? How long was that ago?
6 months?
About 6 months ago.
6 months, yeah.
So in terms, I know you mentioned like you've always wanted to get started off in property, yeah, which as you said, literally every person has that in their minds. Like why not continue with what you were doing before, or why not jump into like a different, you know, venture, business? Like why the rent to rent specifically?
Well, it's about that long term, isn't it? Because obviously I wanted to build something up, like, do you know what I mean? I feel like rent to rent, sub accommodation was a good stepping stone to get into the property game. And I was seeing the numbers people was making, and to be fair, I've got some people around me that was already into it.
Yeah.
I was like, if they can do it, I can do it, and I can do it better.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So then I thought, yeah, I'm going to go for it.
What were the numbers you were seeing?
What, from other people?
Yeah.
Well, I had a friend, he was probably making about 7-8k a month from it, for about 8 deals. Got another friend, he does really well, but he buys the properties, do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. All right, cool. And then obviously you jumped on like our mentorship program, 6 months ago?
Yeah.
So that's when you fully kickstarted off this business fresh?
Yeah.
Okay, so what was the start of your journey like?
The start,
Yeah.
it was stressful, not gonna lie, it was very stressful thinking, oh, can I do this? I don't know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to be fair, as soon as I got that first deal, to be fair, I paid quite a bit of rent on it, so I was thinking, oh, is it gonna work or is it not? To be fair, I was getting bookings straight away, but obviously I followed each step on the program, like get all the professional pictures, descriptions, just made it really outstanding compared to all the other Airbnb listings. So I think about the first day I was getting bookings. So it just popped off, and then that just motivated me. I was just went at it like non-stop. Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, and I actually want to add on to that and continue on with that. But one thing I forgot to ask, yeah, and this is very, very important, I think more for other people to kind of have an understanding of. So obviously you jumped on the program, you had the phone call. Like, prior to you jumping on the program, like what were your feelings? What were you thinking?
I was a bit skeptical, obviously, because you're spending a lot, like quite a bit of money as well on the training. You don't want to waste money, but
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to have a bit of funds there anyway, ready. So it wasn't the end of the world if I did lose it.
Okay.
But I didn't expect it to like start off growing as quick as, you know what I mean? I thought I'd get my first deal maybe 6 months into it.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But yeah, it's kind of good, to be fair.
What was you skeptical about?
Obviously there's a lot of people online obviously don't like have a thing to say about the service accommodation, especially the rent-to-rent kind of schemes.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of controversy, really, wasn't it? That's really.
Okay, so like in terms of like, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for, man? Were you kind of thinking at one point, oh, I don't know if these guys are scammers or I don't know if these guys are legit, basically.
Yeah. Because I thought, well, once they take my money, maybe like they're a bit like won't really care as much. But
I get you.
Now I've joined, it's so like 1-to-1, like always there to help. Got any questions? I mean, you're there. Shout out Andrew, he's always there as well.
Of course. All right, cool. So you obviously jumped on, and then like from there, how long do you reckon it took you to get your first deal?
It took me about a month to get my first deal. And then, like we said before, I had an operation straight after that. So I got my deal, set it up in 2 weeks, had an operation. But luckily enough, in them 2 weeks, I set it up to be all systemized. So I didn't really have to do anything. I was just laying in bed and it was self-running. But as soon as I recovered, I was back at it again. Managed to get 2 more deals. I think about literally the first week I was recovered. And then about a month after, I got another one. And about 2 weeks after that, I got another one. And then it did slow down a little bit. But I think because I was focusing on them 4 deals, getting them perfect, making sure like they're fully like at least 70% occupancy throughout the month. But now it's got to the stage where I'm really like comfortable with it. Obviously, you learn about the pricing strategy as well, going up and down, like changing the pricing strategies all the time. But now I feel like I've like them 4 are on lock. So now it's just like the case of just getting as many as I can, really.
Okay, so because I even remember, if I'm not mistaken, you actually took on, I think it was 4 deals within the space of 4 months.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, that's a decent amount to take on, man.
Yeah,
that's a decent amount, to be fair, in that time frame. And collectively, how much would you say, you know, those 4 deals are generating you per month?
About 4 to 5K.
4 to 5K.
Yeah, but last month actually, I worked out 5.6K from those 4 deals. Yeah,
and that's clean profit.
Clean profit. Yeah,
after all expenses.
After all expenses.
Nice. And you've got a 5th one on the way.
Yeah, 5th one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I literally get the keys in about 2 weeks for that, and that's in a new city, or new town, sorry, called Whitstable. And I'm actually moving there as well myself. Okay. In 2 weeks, I think a day before I get the keys. Yeah. So it's a win-win, really.
Yeah. Okay. So 5 deals in total now, yeah, if we're including that one.
Yeah.
So collectively, including that 5th deal, how much are we looking at per month?
I'll say about at least 5-6K.
5-6K.
Yeah. This new one I taken on is a 2-bed, but I got it for the same price I normally pay for the other ones that I got a 2-bed for. But you can charge a bit more in Whitstable. Don't know why, but people pay a lot more in Whitstable compared to Canterbury.
Where is Whitstable?
It's at the seaside. It's probably about 15-minute car journey from Canterbury. But it's quite an expensive area to live in. Do you know what I mean? But it's very busy in the summer. Okay. Very busy, yeah.
By the way, guys, if you're interested in kickstarting this business off, you're looking for more help and more support, I've left a link in the description box down below for you to schedule in a call with us to see how we can best help. I just want to touch on this as well because I feel like it's very important. A lot of people will look at the progress you've made, yeah?
Yeah.
5 deals in 6 months, making between 5 to 6K per month in profit. They'll look at that and think, nah, man, I don't know if this guy's just being real, man. Yeah. He might just be chatting shit a little bit.
Yeah. To be fair, I wouldn't even believe it though. If you told me it 4 or 5 months ago, or 6 months ago, sorry, then I wouldn't believe it. But yeah. Definitely, yeah.
But it's happening now.
Yeah, it's happening, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's lit. So, okay, cool. So you're at that point right now. So one thing I actually wanted to touch on as well, and this part actually I think is very, very important, are the locations of your deals. Could you talk to us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, well, the 4 deals I've got, the first 4, they're all in Canterbury. They're all pretty close to the city centre, to be fair. There's like a university there. Lots of tourist attractions, and to be fair, when you just drive around in Canterbury, it's packed. Like, do you know what I mean? The roads and that, but yeah. And then obviously the other deals in Whitstable.
Okay.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm asking is because like when people think about service accommodation, rent to rents, they think of, like not many people think about somewhere like Canterbury or Whitstable. So like, what made you? Because I think you're based there, right?
Yeah.
But how were you able to kind of identify that sort of area and also Whitstable as like an area that you can make work for service accommodation?
Well, part of the training program, analysing deals, like the average occupancy, checking out other Airbnbs around the area, see if they're doing well. To be fair, I get a lot of contractors. Like, I think all 4 of the first properties I got, I've had over 1 month booking in all 4 of them recently as well. All contractors.
Okay.
But yeah, and actually one of them there's a relocating. So I think that was from America. They needed to buy a house, but obviously they can't move in straight away. They need to find a house first, and it takes a few months to get in it. So they stayed they'd done a 3-month booking, and they paid about $9,500 up front. And they literally messaged me last week saying they need to extend it for another 2 months. So that's going to be straight up as well.
So how long would they have to stay there in total now?
5 months then.
5-month booking?
5 month, yeah. 5 month
okay.
booking, yeah.
That's another thing that a lot of people find hard to believe,
Yeah.
In terms of people wanting to book service accommodations and Airbnbs for that long.
Yeah. It's mad, isn't it? It's like about 16K booking, cash up front pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, was that the biggest booking you've had so far?
Yeah.
16K up front, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. That's like a decent half a year salary right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's crazy to look at. When I look at me, man, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think this is a point that you touched on before. Like, keep it real. Like, did you actually think the progress would have been this fast prior to you joining or when you joined?
No, not at all. But I think a big part of it comes through the way I set up the properties as well. Because I do go for a high-end look. I do stand out quite a lot on Airbnb, especially in Canterbury. Because when you look on London, man, everyone's like, a lot of gaffs are like 10-10.
Yeah.
In Canterbury, people aren't really like catching up like that. Do you know what I mean? So you stand out a lot. So if you bring it up to quality, up to standard, then it's quite easy to get bookings, yeah.
Nah, of course. You know what? Yeah, one thing I want to touch on as well, and I think this will help out a lot of people. A big, and I'm not sure if this came to your mind as well, but a big fear, a big concern a lot of people have when they get started off with this business is that, what if I take on a property and I don't get any bookings?
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in a situation to where you've taken on a property and you've struggled to get bookings or you've struggled to cover the rent?
I haven't, but I've had that doubt. You know, when you first start up a property, you're waiting for the bookings to come in, you're like, oh, is it going to happen?
Yeah.
Is it going to happen? But then, to be fair, I've been quite fortunate with it. It just took off straight away, to be fair.
Okay. And what would you feel like the reasons were for you not being in that situation to where you're always you're always in profit, basically?
Well, there's a lot of tips and tricks in the training program, which helps. So shout out to that. But yeah, that's a big part of it, to be fair. If I didn't do the training, then it wouldn't have took off like this, and I probably would have been a lot more stressed out starting off.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you think it would have happened as quickly without the training?
Nah, 100%. Nah.
You're just saying that because you're
I feel there's pressure as well from you guys. You know what I mean? You feel like I have to do you know what I mean? I have to do this for them. Yeah.
So another thing as well, like you see with the rent to rent thing as well. I mean, a lot of people look at this sort of business model as like they don't look at it with too much respect.
Nah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They kind of put it in the same categories as your get rich quick schemes, your online businesses or whatever the case may be. Like for you, like, did you have similar thoughts prior to getting started as well?
Yeah,
like that?
yeah, 100%. Yeah, I feel like everyone does though, but the people that don't and they stick to that, they're never going to do it. They're never going to get anywhere from it. So, but yeah, 100%. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, because as well, there's a lot of people out here there. I mean, it may not be for that reason, but they're very, very hesitant to get started with this. Maybe it's because I don't know, like, regulations.
Yeah.
They're gonna come in, they're gonna kill this industry, or it's the winter time right now, or what if I don't get any bookings? Like for you, knowing what you know right now and starting from where you started from, like what would be your words to those people?
Well, you got to start somewhere. Do you know what I mean? And to be fair, I was like it as well. They said about the winter times. I thought, because I've never gone through the winter yet, I'm just experiencing that right now. But to be fair, I feel like the winter it was doing better than the summer. But I don't know if that's because I've had my Airbnb account for longer. I've got more reviews now, etc. But I haven't struggled at all through the winter, really. I've been having them long bookings from contractors through the winter. Yeah. What was you saying again?
No, in terms of shit, what was I saying? I can't lie, I forgot.
Yeah.
It's calm. It's all good. But you know what? Yeah, you touched on an important point I want to go deeper on, and that's you getting the longer term bookings. For a lot of people, when they think about service accommodations, they think about people booking for 1 or 2 nights. But for you, how are you able to get people to book your place for 3, 4, 5 months at a time?
There's little tips, like for example, if you put in a title, contractors going to see it and click straight away. Post on other platforms like Open Rent, Facebook, Gumtree, Also, there's another little method you can do on Airbnb where you duplicate the listing. I think you know about that one, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you do that to attract longer bookings.
Okay.
That's worked quite a few times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So we basically, you have one listing for short-term bookings and have another listing for
Yeah.
longer-term bookings. All right. But where like for you, yeah, the most amount of big bookings that you've been getting, where would you say they've been coming from?
Open rent and just inquiries like just message me. I have one on Facebook. Yeah, which is a surprise. No one really
Very
thinks about
interesting.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Marketplace.
Yeah, marketplace. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but you get a lot of time wasted on Facebook.
Of
Don't
course.
get me wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, open rent and just Airbnb. I feel like you get more longer term bookings on Airbnb compared to Booking.com. I don't know why, but that's what happened to me anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, but most of my bookings do come from Booking.com though.
Okay.
But yeah.
No, nice, man. Nice. You know what? Yeah, I want to shift gears a little bit. Obviously, you're part of the mentorship. I appreciate the shout out, but you touched on it earlier on. But in terms of the role that you feel like the mentorship played, in a little bit more detail, like be honest about that. What role do you feel like that played in the progress you made?
No, it played a massive role, 100%. Like I said before, all the tips and tricks, step by step of what to do. Like a lot of people, they're always stuck at how do you get started? Like what's the first thing you got to do? And obviously you go through it step by step, like start to finish. And then after that's done, and then you do like weekly calls, catch ups, see how it's going, see what they're struggling with, what they're doing good at. And you just like maneuver around it to make sure they progress really. Yeah.
And you started 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And like, are you still like from like Andrew and everything else, are you still getting the support that you need till this day?
Yeah. Well, I was messaging Andrew earlier about things, little things. Even if you think you know something, it's good to get that reinsurance just to ask him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I know you kind of touched on this earlier on, yeah, but I just want to like touch on it again, just so people fully understand. Like, do you like the progress you've made so far? So let's say you secure 5 deals, and you want to secure 6 deals, generating between 5 to 6K per month in profit. That took you 6 months to do.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that would have happened without the mentorship?
No, I probably would have been about 1 or 2 deals by now, and they wouldn't be doing as well.
As well.
Nah, 100%.
Yeah. You know why? Yeah, you know why I wanted to touch on that? Because a lot of people, yeah. Because I mean, you probably know this as well, but there's a lot of stigma when it comes to courses.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people just think, you know what? I just learned the information from YouTube. I'll go online, because all the information's out there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So why didn't, for you, like what made you go towards more the mentorship rather than just kind of absorbing all the information out there, if that makes sense?
Because I know people have been through it themselves as well, and they do say, oh, it's so beneficial getting mentorship. So, and also you be spending a lot of time on YouTube finding out all like the main points you need to use. Like also there's tips and tricks in there, which I haven't found on YouTube. There's loads of little things you can do. Do you know what I mean? Where not a lot of people talk about it, but you can do them things where you implement it, and it does help you get bookings, and obviously it helps you be a super host, which helps you get more bookings, and yeah, and also building yourself as a brand as well. But you don't just help with that; you help with us building us as a brand, longevity of it, and yeah.
I want to ask you as well. You see, with your experiences so far with this business, do you have like any crazy experiences that you want to kind of share with people about that you've experienced since you've been doing this business?
Well, nothing too crazy, but you do get a lot of hiccups. Like for example, I was there about 2 a.m. getting phone calls like, yeah, there's a leak. I'm like, what? And obviously it's quite dangerous, isn't it? If it's like everything's electric. Do you know?
Yeah.
So I have to go down there and fix it. I'm like 2 a.m. I'm thinking, man, this is mad, but it's got to be done in it. But yeah, like leaks, just damages. I had someone got arrested outside the property once. Yeah, I think they were trying to have a party there, but the police followed them for drink driving, and then it managed to cancel the party. So they ended up getting arrested. They're taken to a police station, got it all on the camera and ring doorbell. And I was like, yeah, thank God for that. But that property, I've got the house next door as well. I could do both of them. And the guy next door, he's the one who's staying there for 3 months. And he's sweet, to be fair. He let me know all the drama and that. But yeah, but I was lucky at that situation. Yeah. But,
yeah. For people that want to get started off with this, like what would be your biggest tips to them, your biggest advice and your biggest motivator?
Well, I recommend doing your own research first and then just going all at it. Like find a good mentor and just putting your all into it. Like when you first get started, you've got to make hundreds of phone calls before you get a yes. Go on loads of viewings. It's a lot of pain doing it, but once you get that first deal, it just motivates you, and you just take off from there. Really, but you just got to get going.
How many calls did you make before you got that first yes?
Probably about 100.
100, yeah.
About 100, but because you're learning, you think, oh, don't say that next time. what I mean? I was listening to myself back saying, "Oh, you can't say that." Saying, yes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tones and stuff.
What was like some of the most awkward encounters with landlords that you've had?
Oh, I've had, as soon as you pick up the phone, I say, I'm a company. Next minute, people are screaming at you down the phone. You're like, oh, shit.
Serious?
Yeah, but I've done it a few times. I flipped it over. And next minute, I've got them, I'm going on a viewing, something. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
So what's the one situation that pops up when you just said that?
It happened the other day. I called up someone. He just, as soon as I said about a company, he just shouted me down the phone.
What do you say?
He's saying, I've done with people like you. I've heard it too much, blah, 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 blah. But now we're in contact. And actually, I'm going to view his property next week. So
How was you
flipped
able
it
to,
around.
how was you able to give him over the line?
He just said to me, I don't want people in contractors in my house causing like making mess and stuff like that. So you show them obviously your credibility. When you've got a bit of credibility, you can show them what you do, give a more professional feel for it. So they think, oh no, it's not a random guy taking my property. Someone who's got experience and he attracts high-end guests. So they know their property's going to be looked after, if that makes sense.
Yeah. All right, you heard it here, people, man. Got my client, my mentee, Lewis, 5 deals in 5 months.
Yeah.
Generating £5,000 to £6,000 per month in profit and doing much, much bigger things. So there you have it, people. By the way, guys, if you're interested in kickstarting this business off, you're looking for more help and more support, I've left a link in the description box down below for you to schedule in a call with us to see how we can best help.